Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto has Madara and Hashirama DNA, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. He stood alone atop the carved stone heads of his predecessors, looking over the village he had sworn to protect. Silently he thought about all of the events that had led up to this moment. His victories against the Hidden Rock village which won the war for the Hidden Leaf, his appointment as Hokage, and even his marriage to the red-hot habanero of the Hidden Leaf. All of these led to the mistakes that led up to what he now faced. 16 years prior, a 12-year-old blonde ran through the trees that lay in the land of fire. He followed a squad of Hidden Leaf ninja and looking for their missing. As he ran, something caught his eyes, and he looked down to find a strand of red hair. He looked forward, and saw that the Leaf ninja were already far ahead of him. Looking around, he found another strand of the red hair. There were many strands leaving a trail. He knew that he wasn't strong enough to take on full-fledged ninja, but that didn't stop him from wanting to rescue the girl. He decided to rely on his wit and knowledge of the area to defeat the enemy. He came across a small clearing, and found the three-man squad of Hidden Cloud Ninja, and the girl known as Kushina Uzumaki tied up. He took out a kunai, and began to quickly and silently lay traps around the camp. Ready for his attack, the boy threw a kunai at the first ninja. The man quickly caught it, not seeing the explosive tag wrapped around the handle. The tag detonated, killing the ninja. The other two stood ready to defend themselves. "You did that. Go and check, you idiot." The second ninja jumped into the trees in the direction the kunai came from. As he landed on the branch, he heard a rustling in the leaves behind him. "Wherever you are, you're gonna die for that." As the ninja drew a katana from his back, he failed to notice the ninja wire coming from behind him. He was suddenly wrapped up in wire and explosive tags. What the hell? The tags exploded, killing the second ninja quickly. The blonde remained hidden in the trees. He didn't like that he had to kill the two ninjas, but he had to save Kushina. The third and final ninja stood in shock at the death of his teammates. He didn't notice the blonde jump from behind him and drove the kunai into his back, killing him. Kushina was in awe of her savior as he walked over and untied her. "Are you hurt?" Kushina remained silent, astounded that someone came to save her. "I came to rescue you." He saw her pass out in front of him. He brushed the hair out of her face as she began to awaken. "You're going to be alright now," he said as he picked her up. "Wait a second," she started. She noticed the strands of hair in his grasp. I found the trail. Your hair is so beautiful, so I noticed it right away. But you've always ignored me," she said, looking away as he carried her through the trees. "Because I know that you are strong, in body and spirit. But this is a fight between two villages. This is different from your other fights, so, I didn't want to lose you." The blonde carried her all the way back to Konoha. 6 months prior, after being rescued, Kushina had fallen in love with her savior, and 14 years later she married the blonde-haired boy who saved her. During that time a large war was being fought, and one of the Leaf's most powerful enemies was the Hidden Rock village. The blonde managed to single-handedly defeat the village with the use of his Hiraishin, Thunder God, and his Rasengan. He had even managed to become the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, but nothing could have prepared him for his next great challenge. A baby? Yeah, I'm going to be a mother, you know. And I'm going to be a father. He had never been happier in his life. It has always been his dream to have a son to raise and teach to be a strong shinobi, and now he would have that chance. 5 months prior, it was the night of Kushina's baby shower, and everyone was there. From her best friend Makoto, to the Sannin who creeped her out beyond belief for Orochimaru. The blonde watched over his wife, as she laughed, and smiled in anticipation of their son's birth. "So you have been reading that book, haven't you?" The blonde's old teacher Jiraiya walked up to him holding a book in his hands. "Yeah, it is one of my favorite, sensei. Really, because the sentences are all childish, and I haven't had time to edit it yet. But the main character is amazing. In fact, I want to raise my son to be just like him. If you are sure." The older man laughed. "I even want to name him after the character, if that is alright with you, sensei." "Naruto? But I just came up with that name while eating ramen." "Naruto is a great name," Kushina said, as she approached. "Well, if I came up with the name, does that mean that I get to be the godfather?" Jiraiya asked with a grin. "Of course, sensei, I wouldn't have it any other way." As Kushina laughed with Makoto, who was also pregnant, she began to feel a little weak, so she decided to sit down. "What are you going to name your baby?" "I will name him Sasuke, after the father of the third Hokage." "That is a great name. I hope that our sons will be friends." "Oh, me too." "Excuse me, Kushina." She turned around to see Orochimaru standing behind her holding a cup in his hands. "Oh, hello, Orochimaru. May I help you with something?" "Yes, I saw that you looked a little pale, so I decided to get you something to drink. I just wanted to make sure that you and your child are completely healthy. We wouldn't want that precious child to turn out wrong, now would we?" Kushina took a cup of water from Orochimaru. "Thank you for your concern. But I am sure that Naruto and I are just fine." "Very well, have a nice day, Kushina." Orochimaru walked away, turning slightly to watch Kushina drink from the cup he gave her. "I am positive that your child will be remarkable." Present day, he stood watching, as his village burned, as the people he promised to protect were slaughtered before his eyes. The fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze watched in horror as the fox laid waste to his home. He and Kushina had been warned that during childbirth the seal that continued the nine-tailed fox would be weakened to the point in which it could escape. To prevent this, the third Hokage's wife and another medical ninja went with Kushina and Minato to help deliver the baby away from the village, while Minato would keep the fox sealed. Everything was going as planned, and Naruto was born safely. Minato was about to finish resealing the fox when he heard the sound of a knife cutting through flesh behind him. Step away from the Lord Fourth Hokage. Minato turned around to see a masked man holding a kunai to Naruto. The bodies of the medical ninja and Hiruzen's wife lay at his feet. Who are you, and what are you doing with my son? Who I am doesn't matter, and I will kill your son unless you move away from Kushina now. Minato. Kushina was afraid for her child. Give him to me now. Here, catch. The man threw Naruto out of the sky, and, as Minato caught him, he noticed the tag stuck to Naruto's blanket. Oh no. Minato used his Hiraishin to teleport Naruto and himself away from the cave, and again away from the blanket covered in explosive tags. He set Naruto down into his crib and teleported back to his wife. The masked man had already unleashed the nine-tailed fox from his seal and cast it to put the beast under his control. The fox began to attack Konoha. Minato fought the masked man and placed a contract seal upon him, releasing the fox from his control. You are strong fourth Hokage to land a blow on me and cancel out my. But I will return to destroy this village, that is, if the fox doesn't do it first. The man disappeared using a strange device that distorted the world around him. Minato picked Kushina up and teleported her to Naruto's side. He looked at his wife and child and knew that he had to keep them safe. I'm so glad that you are okay, Naruto. Kushina weakly said to her son. Minato grabbed his cloak and teleported to the top of the Hokage monuments. And it is here where he watched his beloved village burn. Minato watched as the fox opened its mouth and prepared to fire a large black ball of chakra from it. No, not that tailed beast bomb. As the fox launched his attack at the village, Minato used the Hiraishin to teleport in front of the attack and again to send the ball of chakra away from the village, causing a large explosion miles away from the village. He then jumped onto the beast's head and teleported it away as well. As the fox appeared in a large clearing away from the village, he went berserk, destroying the surrounding forest, summoning jutsu. Minato yelled out. A large toad smoking a pipe and wearing a blue jacket appeared next to the nine-tailed fox. Minato teleported atop his head. Minato, what is the meaning of this? I need your help, Gamabunta, please. Fine, then let's send this fox scurrying away. The toad drew his sword and began to battle with the fox as Minato went to get Kushina and Naruto. He brought his wife and son to the clearing and began to set up a sealing altar. Kushina watched in distress as he placed Naruto atop the altar. What are you doing? I need to seal the fox away, and I cannot ask another parent to give up their child to do so. So you will subject Naruto to the life of a. Kushina had tears in her eyes as she envisioned the suffering her son would have to endure. I am sorry, Kushina, but if I don't, then the fox will destroy Konoha. It is my responsibility as Hokage to protect the village. And it is your responsibility as a father to protect your son. She yelled back. Minato will hurry up. They both heard Gamabunta shout out. Minato, there's another way. What do you mean, Kushina? Kushina made a hand sign, and golden chains burst from her back and all around her, and began to wrap themselves all around the nine-tailed fox. She began to cough up blood due to the stress on her body. Now when I die, I will take the fox with me, the village will be safe, and so will our son. My only regret is that I will not be able to see him grow up, she said, as she began to cry. No, Kushina, you will get to see him. I am already dead, Minato. I won't survive this, don't do anything stupid. I will use the Reaper Death Seal to seal half of the fox's chakra into myself. Then I will seal the rest into Naruto along with your chakra and my own. Then when he is older and tries to gain control of the fox's chakra, we will get to see him then. Don't leave our son parentless, please, Minato. Don't do that just so I can see him. I'm sorry, Kushina, I love you. Sealing art. Reaper Death Seal. The god of death appeared behind Minato and shoved its hand through his stomach. The ethereal hand began to reach toward the nine-tailed fox. To Minato's horror, before the hand made its way to the fox, another body jumped in the way, causing the death god to take his soul instead. No, this can't be happening. The seal activated, pulling the soul from the man and causing the body to vanish from existence. A shadow clone, but who would do this? Minato cried out as his own soul was taken by the death god. Minato. Kushina yelled out to her husband. I don't have much chakra left. I'm sorry, Naruto. I'm sorry, Kushina. I don't have a choice but to seal the whole fox into Naruto. He will die, it's too much chakra. I know, but I have to try. The nine-tailed fox knew what was about to happen, so to stop itself from being sealed, he thrust his claw towards the baby on the altar. Both Kushina and Minato got in the way of the claw. I guess that both parents have to die to protect their son. Kushina thought to herself. Please forgive me, Naruto. Minato said, as he cried. A trigram seal. The nine tails let out a roar, as his body began to fade away, and his chakra was sealed inside of Naruto. All of Minato's and Kushina's remaining chakra also was sealed into Naruto's stomach. Naruto, we love you. Please be Guog. Kushina said, as her life passed from her body. Please survive. Minato gasped, as the pain of death overtook him, as well. The night grew silent. Naruto no longer cried. His heartbeat slowed until it almost stopped. But something from within him caused it to strengthen. His pulse quickened, and he opened his eyes to the world. A baby's wails pierced the silent night sky. His parents had left him alone in the world. Only he wasn't. Well, look what we have here. Sorry Minato boy, but I couldn't allow you to take away such a powerful gift. All of the chakra of the 9 tails locked away inside of a baby. It's a good thing my serum worked. Kukuku, now to finish what I started. You will be mine Naruto, and one day so will your body. Orochimaru of the Sannin picked up the helpless blonde-haired, whisker-marked baby, and disappeared into the night. 6 years later, Orochimaru sat in his dark study underground, and reviewed all of his notes on the data he had gathered over the past 6 years. He named the boy Experiment 583, and he was happily amazed by his findings. The boy's physical conditioning was flawless, and his cognitive abilities were off the charts for his age. Orochimaru began to shake with the anticipation of what this boy could do for him. Lord Orochimaru, what is Kabuto? Orochimaru had found the silver-haired, glasses-wearing child on a mission while working with the Leaf Elder Danzo, who also controlled a division known as Root. He instantly noticed the child's usefulness, so he took him under his wing. In the year Kabuto has been with him, he has made significant progress with 583, much to Orochimaru's pleasure. I have just been informed that none of the children you injected with Hashirama Senju's cells survived the process. The experiment was a failure. That is disappointing to be sure, but it isn't a complete waste. Perform autopsies on all of them, and bring me your findings. Yes, Lord Orochimaru, if that is your command. Kabuto closed the door, and went back to the labs. Orochimaru went back to studying 583's progress. It seemed that he had gained his father's innate genius. And of course his mother's large chakra reserves were also passed down. Orochimaru had even succeeded in breaking through the seal, and releasing a larger amount of the Kyuubi's chakra into Naruto's system, though the seal repaired itself too quickly for any significant physical change to occur. I believe it is time to speak with the boy once again, he said to himself, as he left the study in search of his experimental goldmine. When he reached the boy's cell he peered in, and saw the child meditating on top of his bed. His skin was an ivory color, and his blonde hair had begun to show reddish streaks, as of late. Well boy, it seems that your Uzumaki blood is gaining dominance. We will have to balance out your body again. We don't want any one part of you taking over now, do we? No Lord Orochimaru, we don't. The boy responded. And how are you feeling? Same, as every day. Have you been communicating with your beast? Kurama isn't a beast, Lord Orochimaru. The blonde boy said defensively. He didn't like people seeing the fox in a negative light. I almost regret cracking the seal before. If I didn't know any better I would say you are plotting with the demon fox against me. I could never do that to you, father. The boy said passively. His voice is almost void of emotion. We shall see. Orochimaru said, as he walked away chuckling. He had a power under his control, and with the modifications he made to the boy's genetic structure, the boy was sure to be unstoppable when he would mature. And then when he was ripe for the picking, his body belonged to Orochimaru himself. Hiruzen looked out his window at the village with sadness in his eyes. In 3 days it would be October 10th. In 3 days the village would remember the hero of the leaf who died to protect them all from the 9-tailed fox. And in 3 days what should have been the happy birthday of Minato's child Naruto would instead be remembered as the day the 4th Hokage, his wife Kushina, and their child were killed to defend the village hidden in the leaves. He remembered that day well. Along with the team, he found the cold bodies of Minato and Kushina near the altar used to seal the 9 tails. They found the remains of a charred baby on the altar pedestal, and after doing a DNA test, it was confirmed to be the remains of Naruto. Hiruzen and the village mourned the loss of the 4th and his family. Tensions had originally risen about how the 9 tails was released or his seal in the first place. The Uchiha clan were one of the first to be accused of the crime, but that accusation was later refuted, and the clan was proven innocent of the crime. Hiruzen knew that something had to be done after this, so he appointed a member of the Uchiha clan, Michio Uchiha, the father of Makoto Uchiha, to be one of his advisors, as well as an elder of the Leaf Village. Doing this allowed the Uchiha to feel more connected to the village, and relations had never been better. Even though the Leaf Village was prospering again, Hiruzen felt like a failure over the death of Naruto. When Minato sealed the 9-tailed fox into his son, Hiruzen knew that it was up to him to protect the boy. And he got there too late. And to make matters worse, there were rumors that his student Orochimaru had been conducting vile experiments on the children of the Hidden Leaf. Many have gone missing over the past few years, and most of them were shinobi. Hiruzen had squads out searching for evidence on the matter, and he truly wished that they didn't find anything. Lord Hokage. Hiruzen looked at the door to his office, which had been quickly opened. And with a dog mask and silver hair had barged in. What is it? We found something. It is true about Orochimaru. We found underground tunnels with dead bodies in it. They were all children. Where is he? Hiruzen asked, as anger filled his eyes. We don't think he is onto us yet. A strike team is waiting on your order. Arrest him. I want him alive so that I can make him pay for his crimes. Tell them I will be there shortly. Yes, sir. Lord Orochimaru, we need to move at once. Kabuto informed him, as he ran into his study. What is Kabuto? The team has just infiltrated the tunnels. They will be on to us shortly. Orochimaru grabbed his research files, and sealed them into a large scroll. He handed the scroll to Kabuto. Take this, and leave. I will follow shortly. Go to our 5th laboratory in the Land of Tea. This is all of my most important research. Time is of the essence, Kabuto. Don't fail me. Yes, Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto used the body flicker jutsu to teleport outside of the tunnels, and made his quick escape. Well, I guess it is time to finally leave this forsaken village. Kakashi Haddock, Black Ops member, ran through the tunnels with the rest of the team. They had located a total of 27 bodies of children who had obviously been experimented on. It made him sick to think that a fellow shinobi would do such horrendous things to his own village. Dog, there's an open door up ahead. Search the room quickly, and watch out for traps. Kakashi responded. The team stormed the room, and located several more bodies of recently deceased children. It appeared that they had only perished a few hours ago. This is all just so wrong. And wearing a cat mask. I know what you mean. To do something like this to children, it's against nature. Another responded. Wait guys, do you hear that? Hear what, dog? Kakashi moved over to the pile of bodies on the ground. He gently moved one from the top, and saw a hand moving. One of these kids is alive. He shouted. The other ran over to help move the dead bodies off of the living child. He had brown hair, and a leaf forehead protector on, as well as a chunin vest. The child, a chunin at that age. I was one at a younger age. Kakashi said passively. Wait, dog, isn't he the one who was thought to have been kidnapped by Hidden Rock Ninja on an escort mission? Yes, I believe so. Tenzo, I think his name was. Well, he needs medical attention now. Kat took him to the hospital. But what if you encounter Orochimaru? This child needs our help more. Yes, sir. Kat grabbed a bow, and flickered out of the tunnels. When will Lord Hokage be here? Soon. Let's move on. The group came to a point where the tunnel split into 3 passageways. You 2 go left, you 2 go right, and I will take center. Kakashi said to the other 4 members. Will you be okay by yourself? I'll be fine. Now go, there may yet be other survivors. Yes, sir. The 4 said simultaneously. Kakashi quickly ran down the hall until he found himself in a large room filled with what looked like jail cells. They all seemed to be empty. What is this place? He looked around the room until a voice shook the silence. Hello, who are you? Kakashi turned around to see a child no more than 6 years old sitting in a cell. The child looked somewhat familiar. His skin was ivory white, and he had long spiky blonde hair, with red streaks throughout it. His eyes were the weirdest part of him though. One was a cerulean blue hat that looked very familiar with blonde hair. The other was a luminescent green that looked natural and pure. Who are you? The boy asked again. I'm from the Hidden Leaf Village. You should leave this place. Father won't like it that you are here. Father? Orochimaru. He doesn't like visitors. Orochimaru is your father. Kakashi was bewildered by the statement. Upon further inspection, he noticed the shape of the boy's face, and the red hair against it. The blue eye was so familiar. Sensei. Well, how good of you to join me here, Kakashi Haddock. Kakashi spun around to see Orochimaru approaching him. I never expected you to be the one to find this place, though with who Sensei was, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised now, should I? Orochimaru, you are under arrest for crimes against the Hidden Leaf Village. Kakashi said, shaking slightly from the snake's presence. Kukuku, oh Kakashi, you humor me. Do you really think that you are strong enough to capture me? I am a Sannin after all. I will not allow myself to harm another innocent soul. Such conviction. Sarutobi-sensei has really pushed through to you, hasn't he? No matter, I cannot allow you to get your hands on my child now, can I? Orochimaru made several hand signs quickly, and slammed his hands on the ground. Reverse summoning seal. The cage that the blonde-haired kid was in began to glow behind Kakashi, and suddenly the child vanished from the room. What did you do with him? Oh, I just sent him somewhere a bit further away. Can't have you getting into too much trouble with me now, can I? Kakashi knelt D0 and his right hand began to glow and crackle as the sound of 1,000 birds filled the room. Oh my, Yuchidori, I have heard stories about that. Actually, this is my more powerful lightning blade, and you are the first to witness it. Kakashi ran towards the Sannin at incredible speed, but the snake flashed away and appeared behind him. Orochimaru grabbed Kakashi and threw him against a nearby wall with such force as to indent the ninja into the concrete. Poor little Kakashi, first you lose Obito, then you kill Rin, followed by the death of your sensei. And now I get the pleasure of killing you. I will definitely enjoy this. Orochimaru opened his mouth, and a sword came flying from his stomach. As he gripped the blade's hilt, the snake laughed maniacally, preparing to strike down the Anbu ninja. He raised the sword into the air. But by Kakashi. As he brought the blade down, a large black metal pole crashed into him, forcing him away from the young. Orochimaru, your time is up. Why hello there, Sarutobi-sensei. I'm so glad that you could join me. What are you doing, Orochimaru? How could you betray me like this? Like how you betrayed me by giving the title of Hokage to Minato Namikaze. Well, let's look at how that turned out. How must it feel, Sarutobi-sensei, to know that you failed so horribly with your students? Even Jiraiya is a shadow of his former self now, ever since his student died. I will stop you, Orochimaru. The third said. No, I will leave this place. But I promise that I will return, and when I do, I will burn this whole insufferable village to the ground. Orochimaru said with venom in his voice, and a demonic look in his snake-like eyes. I really have failed you so. Hiruzen said sadly. You should be proud of Sarutobi-sensei. Your student has surpassed his master, and will bring this shinobi world to its knees. Farewell, sensei. Orochimaru seemed to merge with the ground, and he was gone. Hiruzen stood, too shocked to move for the moment. He was snapped from his thoughts by a groaning noise. Kakashi. He ran over to the wall. Are you okay? I will be. Damn, that really hurt. I will get you some help. Lord Hokage. Yes. Are you sure that Naruto is actually dead? Why would you ask such a thing? Of course he is dead. You saw the body, and the coroner reports. I just saw a child, and I swear he looked like Minato-sensei. Kakashi passed out, as he finished the sentence, leaving Hiruzen in a state of shock. It was impossible. Naruto couldn't be alive. Could he? The young blonde woke up in the woods. He heard the sound of what seemed like a pig oinking nearby. The last thing he remembered was Orochimaru teleporting him away, but the boy intercepted the chakra flow of the, and caused his body to go to another location. I got away. I actually got away. He heard the same winking again, so he stood up, and followed the noise. As he came to a clearing in the forest, Naruto saw two women. One looked to be in her 40s, and had long blonde hair and two ponytails. She wore a white shirt that was barely with navy blue pants, and a black belt. She also had on a pair of ninja sandals, a green coat, and she had a strange purple diamond tattooed on her forehead. The other girl looked to be a few years older than himself, maybe around Kabuto's age. She wore a fishnet mesh shirt with a large black kimono that came down to her calves, as well as a pair of shinobi sandals. Next to her sat a small pink pig with a red jacket on, and beads around its neck. Lady Tsunade, do we have to keep running away like this? Why don't you just stop with all of the gambling? Shizune, this next stop will be our lucky spot, I just know it. This losing streak is about to be over. That's what you said about the last town, and the village before that, and the city before that one. Shizune replied exasperatedly. What, don't you trust me, Shizune? Tsunade said, feigning hurt. Of course I do, Lady Tsunade. She replied, afraid of offending her teacher. Oink. The pig named Tonton squealed, knowing how obliviously Shizune just acted. Well then, let's get moving. Tsunade started to walk away. As she walked, she saw a small blonde boy wearing tattered clothes. He was watching them intently, as if he had never seen people like them before. Lady Tsunade, what's wrong? Shizune asked. She turned to look in the same direction, and she too noticed the boy. Hey kid, are you okay? Shizune yelled out, as she ran up to him. The blonde saw the lady running towards him, and he took a defensive pose. He was afraid that she would hurt him like Orochimaru and Kabuto did. Tsunade noticed a change in his posture, and she started to walk towards the boy as well. Are you okay? Shizune asked him, as she stopped a few feet away from him. Where are your parents? I don't have parents, or at least not one I want to get back to. He answered. Are you hurt? He silently shook his head no. Shizune backed away for a moment. Yes, Lady Tsunade. Tsunade knelt down next to the scared boy. She did a quick scan over him, and noticed how striking his eyes were. She could also feel the chakra radiating off of him. Where did you come from? My father's laboratory. What is your father's name? Orochimaru. Tsunade paled at the answer. She also knew that it was impossible, as the boy had no resemblance to her former team member. Excuse me, lady. You can call what you need. Are you from Konoha? You look familiar. Yes, I am. Who do I look like? You look like Tsunade Senju of the Sannin, and the last known member of the once great Senju clan. But you can't be her because she would be a lot older than you are. Tsunade couldn't believe that a child so young would have so much knowledge about her to be able to recognize her on sight. Sure, she was famous, but he looked like he was 5. I'm her. I used to look younger than I actually am. Suddenly the boy grew a large smile on his face. So you can take me to Konoha. Wait, what? I read about the Hidden Leaf Village in a book, and I want to go to the place where the 4th Hokage once lived. Why do you want to go there? I want to see the village where he sealed Kurama inside of me. Who? Kurama, the 9-tailed fox. Tsunade's eyes whitened significantly. He couldn't be the hair, and the blue eyes. It was impossible, he was dead. Naruto. Hiruzen sat at his desk looking over the shinobi mission reports that had come in the past few days. Ever since the discovery of Orochimaru's crimes, and his inevitable defection from the Hidden Leaf, the village had been in a state of shock. Not only had their Sannin hero been kidnapping their shinobi children, he had caused their deaths through gross experimentation. It was a betrayal that no one had seen coming. He had also been shaken due to Kakashi's alleged identification of a child, who may have been the 4th Hokage's son. But there was no evidence to support the claim, mainly due to the fact that the boy couldn't be located, as Orochimaru took him. Hiruzen didn't want to get his hopes up that the boy could be alive. He didn't think he could bear that grief again. On a more peculiar note, a message had been sent to him by one of his old students. Tsunade Senju, his prized medical specialist, had sent a note that informed him that she would be in the village on October 10th, which was today. He read the note again to see if he had missed anything. Sensei, sealed in this note are a few samples of blood. I need you to have the village medical staff check it against all known shinobi records. It will probably take 2 days for their tests to be completed. I ask that all information regarding these samples be kept secret until I arrive. Do not read the results, Sensei. I will be arriving in the village on the 10th of October, in 3 days' time. Tsunade. She didn't give him any reason as to why she was returning, or why she wanted those blood samples to be checked, not that he needed one, but she had before sworn to never enter Konoha again. She hated the village after the death of her brother Nawaki, and the love of her life Dan. He didn't care why she was coming, he was just happy to see her once more. Having fun there, Sensei. Hiruzen quickly turned in his chair to see a tall man with long spiky white hair, wooden sandals, a fishnet mesh shirt, green robe, and pants, and red vest, as well as a forehead protector with a kanji for oil on it. He also had red face paint going down his face from his eyes. Jiraiya. You're here too. So, you got Tsunade's message as well then. How does it feel to see all 3 of your students within the same week again, Sensei? The man asked with a smile. It is great to see you again, Jiraiya. It has been far too long. Well, I've been keeping an eye out, looking around for the past few years. Still looking for Minato's son. I refuse to accept that he is dead, Sensei. I just cannot have failed Minato and Kushina again. I know how you feel. I have felt the same way ever since we lost the 3 of them. Jiraiya walked around Hiruzen's desk and sat in the chair directly across from his old sensei. Do you have any idea what she wanted? Not a clue. I am frankly surprised that she sent a note at all. Same here. Tsunade hasn't spoken to me since the last time she caught me. I mean researching for my next book. That reminds me, when is the next book going to be out? Hiruzen asked with a slight blush. Hahaha, sensei, you old pervert. I will have the next book in the Make-Out series out in stores in a few months. Well, that's good to hear. He was happy that for even a few seconds he could forget about all of his stress and guilt over Naruto. So when should she be here? Anytime now, anytime. Jiraiya pointed to a sealed file atop his sensei's desk. What is that? That is the reason for Tsunade's visit, and it is not to be opened until she arrives. Well, I hope she gets here fast. Those hot springs are calling my name, and so will the lucky ladies inside. The perverted sage said under his breath with a large smile on his face. Tsunade, Shizune, and the blonde boy were walking down the dirt road through the land of fire. While the boy was unnaturally quiet for a child of his age, Tsunade was thinking about their conversation the other day, after she had met him on that hilltop. Flashback, Naruto? Tsunade asked in her voice a mixture of hope, fear, sadness, and shock. She didn't know if it was him, but a part of her wanted it to be him. Naruto? Who's Naruto? The blonde asked. Do you mean the main character from the famous book by the legendary Jiraiya? His voice lit up, and a smile stretched across his face. Tsunade was floored by the question, and she had only one prayer on her mind at that moment. You're far too young to be reading that kind of trash. Trash? How could you call the Tales of the Gutsy Ninja trash? It is my most favorite book in the world. Oh, that book. Tsunade let her breath catch up to her, and she was glad that it wasn't one of his works of pure perversion. She continued to look at the boy with hope. He was the right age, and that hair, even with the red in it, and that blue eye, made him look exactly like Minato. The shape of his face was definitely that of Kushina, even if his skin was ivory white. Are you okay, Lady Tsunade? The boy asked her in concern. Yeah, I'm fine. What is your name? I don't really have one. Orochimaru just called me Experiment 583. The boy said with a frown. Well, what would you like me to call you? The boy thought hard for a moment, and then his face lit up with a smile. Can you call me Naruto? I don't know why you said the name before, but I really like it. He was my favorite character from Lord Jiraiya's masterpiece. Tsunade and Shizune couldn't help but smile. If that is what you want, then we shall call you Naruto. I really hope it is you. Naruto, how do you know about the nine-tailed fox? Shizune asked. Orochimaru told me all about it, and I talked to him. He is my only friend in the world. Unless, wait, are you my friends now? Tsunade smiled sadly. This boy was incredibly intelligent for his age, and it was easy to forget exactly how old he was. But at the end of the day he was still just a little kid. Yes, Naruto, we are your friends now. Afterwards Tsunade had to convince Naruto to allow to take samples of his blood. But she had a really hard time, as he was terrified of needles. She figures that it was a natural reflex due to the experimentation Orochimaru put him through. In the end she had to use medical ninjutsu to put him asleep while she collected the blood samples. She sent them to the third Hokage in hopes of discovering Naruto's true identity. When Naruto woke he was initially mad at Tsunade, but she explained to him that she just had to make sure that he was okay, and not sick. As his friend she needed to look out for him, and protect him. That seemed to make the boy smile again. He was happy to have friends who cared so much about him. Flashback over. Tsunade looked on ahead, and saw the giant gates of Konoha. You could even see the Hokage's faces carved into the side of the mountain from where she stood. Naruto, look, we're here. We are. The blonde kid grew excited at the prospect of being in Konoha. I can see faces. Those are the Hokage's stone faces, right, Lady Tsunade? That's right, Naruto. Wow, I never thought they would be so massive. Shizune just giggled at the blonde's wonder. She found it incredibly cute. The group of three approached the gates to Konoha, and Naruto was getting antsy. He wanted to run up and look at everything. As the young boy ran across the border of the village, someone yelled out to him. Hey kid, what do you think you're doing? Naruto looked over to see two ninja dressed in the standard Chunin attire sitting at a desk marked Welcome Station. He ran over to the desk with a smile. Naruto, what are you doing? Tsunade walked up behind him with Shizune not far behind. Lady Tsunade, you're here, in the Leaf Village. One of the two Chunin said, shocked. That would be right. This is Shizune, and she is my apprentice, and this little runt here is Naruto. He is also with me. Alright, we just need you to sign these forms. Can Shizune handle that? You have a meeting with the Hokage. Yes, that is no problem. Shizune met me in the Hokage's office. Yes, Lady Tsunade. Tsunade and Naruto began to walk towards the Hokage's building. As they were walking, Naruto looked all over at everything that he could see, soaking up as much information that he could gain visually. As they walked, a shouting could be heard from ahead of them. Come on, brother, please train with me. Another time, Sasuke, we don't have time to train at this second. No fair, I'm bored. Ahead of them, a black-haired boy was walking along with a much younger boy who was clearly his brother. As the older of the two looked ahead and saw Tsunade, he stopped in his tracks. Lady Tsunade, it is a pleasure to see you in person. Hello there, and you are? The younger brother ran up before the older one had a chance to respond. That is my older brother Itachi Uchiha. He's 11, and he just made it. Tsunade smiled and knelt down as Itachi rolled his eyes at his brother's antics. Oh really, and who are you? I'm Sasuke Uchiha, and I'm 6. I'm gonna be the next head of the Konoha police force. Are you really? Well, Sasuke, you know you shouldn't tell everyone you meet about your brother being an Anbu. It's supposed to be a secret. Sasuke's face just paled, even more so than the already ivory-skinned boy's color was. I didn't know that. I'm not in trouble, am I? No, you're not. Tsunade felt someone pulling at her pants. She looked down to see Naruto hiding behind her slightly. Sasuke noticed the little boy behind the strange woman. Who are you? The young Uchiha asked somewhat forcibly. Naruto didn't answer at first, not knowing whether or not he should trust the kid. Go on, and answer him. Tsunade told him. Naruto came out from behind her back and stepped towards Sasuke. He held out his hand to the Uchiha. I'm Naruto. How old are you, Naruto? Sasuke asked excitedly at the new kid in town. Naruto's face slightly shifted as he frowned. I'm not sure, 5 or 6, I think. You don't know how old you are. Are you stupid or something? Sasuke asked. Sasuke, now that isn't nice. Itachi cut in. Oh, sorry Naruto. Sasuke said, slightly saddened. It's okay Sasuke. Tsunade answered back. I found Naruto by himself in the woods. We are going to see if we can figure out how old he is right now. Can I come with you? He asked excitedly. Naruto also looked happy at the prospect of Sasuke coming along. Can he? Sorry Naruto, not this time. Tsunade answered. Sasuke, and I have to be heading home anyway. Maybe we will see you again soon though. Goodbye Lady Tsunade, goodbye Naruto. Itachi said, as he grabbed Sasuke's hand. Bye Naruto. Sasuke said to his new friend. Bye Sasuke. Naruto responded. Lady Tsunade, what are you doing in the middle of the street? Shizune said, as she ran up and met the two. I thought that you would have been at the Hokage Tower by now. We got a little sidetracked meeting a new friend, right Naruto? Yup. He answered. Well, let's get moving. Lord Hokage is probably waiting for us. Shizune advised. Hiruzen and Jiraiya sat in his office discussing many things as they waited for Tsunade. From news that spread throughout the shinobi nations to Jiraiya's perverted exploits, their topics were never boring. Hiruzen smiled for the first time in a while with his old student. So did you ever master your sage mode? Ugh no, I've been too busy for that serious of training. Busy with what Jiraiya? You know, my research. The toad sage said with a creepy grin. A knocking came from the door. Yes? Lord Hokage, you have some visitors. Send them in. Yes, sir. Well, it is about time. Jiraiya said a little too loudly. Damn woman is always law. What was that Jiraiya? He slowly turned around to see his old teammate glaring at him. Tsunade. Hey there, I was just saying how you were always lovely. Especially today. You look damn good. But try Jiraiya. Hiruzen couldn't help but chuckle at his students bickering. Just like old times. He thought to himself. Well Tsunade, what did you need to see me about? Hello sensei, do you have the files from the medical teams? Yes, they are right here. He handed the folder to Tsunade, who grabbed it and ripped it open quickly. Thank you for not reading it sensei. I just did as you asked Tsunade. As Tsunade read the detailed analysis of Naruto's blood work, a slight smile came to her face and she began to cry. But, as she read farther, the smile slowly turned into a frown, and from a frown to full-blown fire in her eyes. Tsunade Senju was pissed, and the target of her anger was Orochimaru. That snake bastard. What's wrong, Tsunade? Hiruzen and Jiraiya asked at the same time. Tsunade closed the file, as she finished reading it, and wiped the tears from her eyes. First things first, Shizune, please bring him in here. Who? Jiraiya asked. Tsunade, who do you have with you? Hiruzen questioned her. Just watch, sensei. Shizune opened the door, and slowly brought Naruto into the Hokage's office. Jiraiya's face instantly turned from curiosity to full-blown shock. Hiruzen felt tears coming to his eyes. He couldn't believe it. Naruto? They both asked at the same time. Hey, how did they know my name? I just made it. The blonde asked Tsunade. What do you mean you just made it? Jiraiya asked. Okay, I need the both of you to stay calm for a moment. I found Naruto here in the woods near the land of tea. He had no idea who he was, what his name was, or even how old he was. But he claimed to know who his father was, and that he didn't want to go back to him. Who did he think was his father? Hiruzen wanted answers, and he wanted them now. Orochimaru is my father. Naruto said to the two older shinobi, surprise. His hair and eyes. How is this possible? Hiruzen asked in shock. I think he just told us, sensei. Jiraiya responded. Orochimaru. Shizune, please take Naruto outside again, and have him take a nap. He's probably tired. No, I'm not. The boy said, as he yawned, and fought to keep his eyes open. Come on, Naruto, let's let Tsunade and the other grown-ups talk, okay? Okay? He said, as he yawned again. As the door closed, Jiraiya stood up, and drew a few seals around the room. He then activated them, turning the office into a secluded location, unable to be penetrated. So he has been with Orochimaru this entire time. Hiruzen said to himself. Then Kakashi did in fact see him there. Why didn't I believe him? There's no way that you could have known, sensei. Jiraiya told the sad old man. Tsunade, what did he do to Naruto? According to the DNA test I had done, that is most definitely Minato and Kushina's son. There is no mistaking that fact. Okay. But there was a strange irregularity in his DNA composition. It seems that Orochimaru somehow combined Naruto's DNA with the DNA of others. But who? Hiruzen asked. Well, first off, Naruto already had the genetic traits of the Uzumaki clan, and of Minato Namikaze. Orochimaru managed to acquire cells from Hashirama Senju, Tobirama Senju, and Madara Uchiha, as well as Mito Uzumaki. He injected Naruto with their cells, and it had drastic effects on Naruto's DNA code. You can see the external effects. His ivory white skin, a common trait of each Uchiha clan. His yellow hair has turned red in many places, that is the extra Uzumaki cells at work, and then his green eyes seems to have a connection to Senju DNA. I can't believe it. Jiraiya was pissed off beyond all measure. The absolute torture he must have put him through. How did he survive it? The fox. Hiruzen said Minato sealed the whole fox into him. His regeneration abilities must be extreme. But that should have killed him. Jiraiya explained. Unless Orochimaru already began his tampering even before he was born. Hiruzen clarified. That snake bastard. Tsunade was absolutely livid. What about internal changes, Tsunade? Jiraiya asked. His physical conditioning is perfect. He is fast and strong for his age. But the truth is, we have no idea how all of this will end up affecting him. We have never had a situation like this before. We will discuss this more later. For now, Jiraiya, release the seals, please. You got it, sensei. Jiraiya placed his hand on one of the seals, and they all seemed to disappear. As they opened the door, they were surprised to see the members of the Hidden Leaf Council standing in the doorway. Hello, Tsunade, how good of you to have come back. A man with bandages around his eye and a missing arm said. Danzo, what is the meaning of this? Hiruzen questioned his old friend. We received reports that 2 of our Sannin had returned, and now we found a strange child as well. Hiruzen, you have been keeping secrets from us. We have called a village council meeting, and we expect you all to be there. Michio, Himura, Kaheru, you all agree. I'm sorry, Hiruzen, but Danzo showed us the files on the boy. Michio said to his old friend. What? That was not public information. Tsunade yelled angrily. And the public hasn't yet seen Princess Tsunade, but you had no right keeping that information from the council, so now they have all been informed. We will discuss this later, Danzo. This isn't over. Oh, I wouldn't dream of hit Hiruzen. In the hospital, Tenzo was unconscious and lying down in his bed. Next to him was a small bonsai tree left by Kakashi. As the teen gently kept a steady breath in his sleep, his chakra began to flare. The bonsai tree began to grow ever so slightly. His eyes opened, revealing a forest green glow. Danzo sat at the foot of a long table. To his right sat Himura and Kaheru, and to his left sat Michio. On Michio's left sat the Shinobi Clan Council, which was made by the heads of the noble clans of Konoha. There were Chaozu Akamichi, Shibi Abiram, Hiyashi Hyuga, Suminizuka, Shikaku Nara, Fugaku, Uchiha, and Inoichi Yamanaka. On Kaheru's right sat the Konoha District Council, civilians elected to run each of the Leaf Village's 7 districts. There were Daiki Sato of District 1, Ryota Ito of District 2, Rina Shimizu of District 3, Hiroki Tanaka of District 4, Mibuki Haruno of District 5, Chihiro Ogawa of District 6, and Yusuke Mata of District 7. All of the council members sat patiently waiting for Hiruzen Tsurutobi to enter. They had not had a large meeting of the council since the death of the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze. Hiruzen walked into the council room along with Jiraiya and Tsunade, as well as 4 of his operatives who would sit in each corner of the room. He sat down wearing his red and white robes, and took off his hat. Tsunade sat on his left while Jiraiya sat on his right. So you all wanted a meeting to be held, here I am. As the third Hokage of the Hidden Leaf, I hereby start the meeting of councils. Who would like to begin? Danzo stood up much to Hiruzen's dismay. Okay Danzo, you may begin. Thank you Lord Hiruzen. We call this meeting to discuss matters of great importance to the entire village. A matter that you, Hiruzen, neglected to inform any of us about. The return of the 9-tailed Jinchuriki. Sorry to interrupt you Danzo, but I do believe that the child has a name. It is Naruto Namikaze, as you are all aware. Naruto Namikaze is dead, Lord Hokage. He died alongside his mother and father. That is what you told us 6 years ago. The civilian council member Daiki stated. At that point that is what I believe to be true. I was wrong, and he has indeed been returned to us today. As I have been made aware, you have all been shown his medical report. About that, how can you be sure that this is indeed the same boy? According to the report, he has the DNA of several powerful clans. Not just the fourth and Kushina. Rina jumped in. If you knew anything about medical reports then you would know, yes he has cells from other clans infused within him, but his chromosomes and genetics indicate that he is indeed Minato and Kushina's child. Tsunade interjected. You are not a member of this council Tsunade, please be silent unless called upon. Koharu angrily exclaimed. As the last of the Senju, one of the 2 founding clans, and granddaughter of the first Hokage, not to mention the world's premier specialist in medical ninjutsu, and the one who found the boy in the first place, I do believe she is entitled to speak and vote along with these proceedings Koharu. Michio stated to his fellow advisor. I agree with Michio. Hiashi Hyuga stated. As do I Shikaku agreed. So be it. Homura finished. Tsunade you may continue. Thank you. As I was saying, I have thoroughly studied the files that you were all given, and I can give you my professional opinion that Naruto is in fact, with 100% certainty, the child of Minato and Kushina. I can accept Princess Tsunade. Danzo said. But is it true that Orochimaru is responsible for the boy's current state? Yes Danzo, that is true. Hiruzen admitted. Then is it possible that Orochimaru created the boy from the DNA of his parents? He doesn't necessarily have to be their actual child that was born on October 10th 6 years ago. May I speak? Jiraiya asked the council. I don't see why not, go ahead Jiraiya. Homura responded. If Minato's child had indeed been killed, the chakra of the 9-tailed fox would have dissipated and reformed in a decade or 2. Considering that it would have been impossible to collect all of the chakra and seal it into a new child at that point, I would say that proves that Naruto is in fact the same Naruto born from Kushina. He explained. Not to mention, I looked at the seal, and no one else, besides Minato, could have created that seal that was used. The masterwork is beyond even my own level. Well said Lord Jiraiya. Inoichi said to the Sannin. With this information that we have been given, I move that we fix the records of Naruto Namikaze and list him as alive. Su Minizuka spoke up. I second that motion. Chaoza agreed. All in favor? Hiruzen asked aloud. All of the council leaders in attendance raised their hands in agreement. Motion has been passed. Now if that is all then Not so fast Hiruzen, there are other matters that we must consider. Danzo said aloud. What is it now Danzo? I have several questions that have been submitted to me that I would like to ask. The names of the questionnaires will not be given. First, is the 9-tailed fox safely sealed away? We do not want it to escape. The answer is yes, the seal is perfect. Naruto's chakra system, and the foxes will merge until Naruto has complete control over all of the fox's chakra. The fox has no way of taking him over. Jiraiya answered. As a well-known seal master I believe that we should listen to Lord Jiraiya. Shibi stated. Agreed. Danzo answered. Second, do you know how the experimentation on the boy will affect him? There is no way to tell at the moment. But negative effects are not likely at this point. He has lived through procedures no one else could have survived. But he could become a powerful asset to the village. Tsunade answered. Very good. That brings me to questions 3, 4, and 5. Where will he live? Who will take care of him? And will he become a shinobi? Is it true that he has Uchiha blood in him? Fugaku asked. Yes. Tsunade answered. Then I believe that the Uchiha clan should take him. Absolutely not. The Hyuga clan will not allow you to take him. You will just use him for your own power. Hiashi spoke out. How dare you accuse me of such a thing? If I may Lord Hokage, the boy also has Senju blood and Uzumaki blood, am I correct? Shikaku asked. Yes, his mother was Kushina Uzumaki, and Orochimaru gave him Senju DNA. Then why doesn't Lady Tsunade raise the boy? That is up to her. Hiruzen answered. Jiraiya has been listed as Naruto's godfather, as well. I believe the best solution would be to leave him in my care, Lord Hokage. Danzo announced. Absolutely not. Tsunade shouted back. I will raise the boy to be a weapon for our village like no one has seen before. Also his blood needs to be researched. If we could give all of our shinobi his potential power, then our village would be unstoppable. The civilian council seemed to agree with the old warhawk. Naruto is not a science experiment Danzo, nor is he a weapon to be used in such a way. He is a living, breathing, human son of our 4th Hokage, and will be treated as such. Tsunade was livid at Danzo's proposal. Tsunade, all ninja are weapons for their village. He responded. I move that Naruto be placed in my care. Danzo, do not try this. Not with Minato's child. I second that motion Hiruzen. Homura responded. Fine. Hiruzen said, gritting his teeth. All in favor. Danzo's hand raised, as well as Homura and Kaher. 6 of the civilian council's hands shot up. Nabuki, what are you doing? Yusuke asked. I don't believe that a child who has already lived through 6 years of hell should live through more. All oppose. Everyone else's hands raised into the air. Motion denied. I think that Tsunade Senju should raise the child. Jiraiya spoke out. You are not a member of this council, Jiraiya. Danzo quickly said. Fine, then I will make the motion. Michio said. Lord Michio. Fugaku questioned. Fugaku, you are a great head of our clan, but what this village needs is balance. The Uchiha cannot take too much power. It is bad for the village, as a whole. Fugaku nodded to his father-in-law in respect. I second the motion. Hiyashi Hyuga said aloud, earning a few astonished looks. All in favor. All of the shinobi council's hands raised high. Tsunade, Michio, Hiruzen, and Nabuki also raised their hands. Majority rules, motion carried. Tsunade will take care of Naruto. Thank you sensei. Tsunade said, slightly amazed that she now had to care for a child. I would like to make a request of you through Tsunade. Hiruzen said. What is sensei? Naruto is the son of Minato and Kushina, and, as such, I would like him to be raised within village walls. I want you to come back for good. I'll see how the village acts first, sensei. Understandable, though I was also hoping that you would open up a medical ninjutsu academy, as you wanted to before. We are no longer in a war, so we have the resources to do this. And there is no one better to run such a thing than you. Also you, my student, are the last living heir of the Senju clan. If not for your grandfather, this village would not exist. Therefore I hereby grant you a seat on the Shinobi clan council. Are you serious, sensei? Very seriously, the Senju clan more than deserves it. Does any member of the Shinobi clan council disagree with this decision? They all shook their heads no to answer the Hokage. Then it is decided, the Senju clan will have their seat once again. I will do it, she said with a large smile. I am glad to hear it, Tsunade. Welcome back to the village. It has been too long. Dan, Nawaki, and your grandfather would be proud of you. Danzo was getting angry while watching the scene before him. Hiruzen continued to make the village weak in his eyes. I vote for a vote of no confidence in Hiruzen Sarutobi, as Hokage of our village. Everyone's heads turned on that note. Excuse me, Danzo. Hiruzen, you are no longer fit to wear that hat. I will not allow this village to weaken anymore. We should be the most powerful of any nation, but it cannot happen if you are Hokage. How dare you? Hiruzen asked, pissed off. I second this motion. Yusuke said aloud. If that is what you wish, then the motion will be voted on. All in favor. Danzo raised his hand, as did Yusuke, Chihiro, Taiki, and Hiroki. But they were alone in that regard. What is this? Danzo yelled. Danzo Hiruzen has led this village well for many years, and while he may make decisions that we do not agree with, sometimes we would never want him to step down, unless there was a truly viable candidate. Homura said to him. And you are most certainly not it. Kaheru agreed. The motion is denied. How has it come to this, my friend? You are weak called fool Hiruzen. This village has the potential to be unstoppable. The will of fire is lost to you. The will of fire lives in all of us so long, as we are prepared to lay down our lives for the safety of others. You Danzo have betrayed me greatly on this day. You call a meeting behind my back, try to steal power for your own benefits and goals, and attempt to overthrow me out of this position. I think that you have forgotten something, my friend. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship, and I have the last say as to what happens within these walls. This council was created for the purpose of distributing power and helping the Hokage run the village, not to run the village themselves. I am sorry, my friend, but I hereby remove you from your position as advisor to the Hokage. I remove all rank and association to the shinobi of this village. You will live your days as a civilian, and if I find out that you have taken any action against this village's safety or order, then you will face the consequences of those actions. And they will be severe, let me promise you that, my old friend. You can't do that, Hiruzen. You need the council's approval. No, my friend, I do not. Anbu, remove Danzo from this room, please. Damn you, Hiruzen. Danzo said, as Anbu used the body flicker technique to teleport him from the room. Now is there anything else? Hiruzen, who will take Danzo's place? Kaheru asked. Jiraiya, I would be honored if you would do this. Sensei, I cannot stay in the village. I understand, but I still want you, as my advisor. If that is your wish, then yes, when I am in the village I will be one of your advisors. Then I declare this meeting over. Everyone stood to leave the room. Many of the civilian council members were highly upset at the outcomes of the meeting. Congratulations, Tsunade. Jiraiya said, as they left the room. Lady Tsunade. Shizune ran up to her with Naruto following. What happened? Tsunade bent down to speak with Naruto. Naruto, do you want to stay in the village? Yes, I do. Then you will stay. The blonde suddenly looks scared. But who will I stay with? What if Orochimaru comes for me? Naruto, you will be staying with me. And I will not let that snake lay a finger on you. Lady Tsunade, are you serious? We are staying in Konoha. Shizune asked with a wide smile upon her face. Yes, we are staying in Shizune. Tsunade, if I'm staying with you, does that make you my mom? Tsunade started to tear up at the idea of being a mother. She had thought that with Dan dead her time for that would never come. Yes Naruto, I will be your mom. Naruto hugged Tsunade as tightly as possible as he began to cry. He had never been this happy before, and for the first time in his life he felt like he had a family. But then a thought came to his mind, a thought of an old friend that he missed. Mom, so you found me when I got away from Orochimaru, right? Yes, why Naruto? Did you find any of the other kids he had? No I didn't, sensei. Naruto, when we raided Orochimaru's underground labs all of the kids we found were dead. Well except one, but he was in a severe coma. Was it my brother? Naruto asked with hope in his eyes. Your brother? Lord Hokage. A nurse came running down the hallway. Lord Hokage, you need to come quickly. What is it? You just need to see this. Please, we might need your medical expertise at the hospital. Hiruzen said to his student. Tsunade picked up Naruto as she ran with the Hokage to the hospital. They heard a loud crash as they approached the building and saw a tree burst through the wall. What in Kami's name is that? Tsunade asked. Let's hurry. As they entered the hospital another nurse came up to them. Sir, it's that boy that you brought in. He awoke from his coma and he just freaked out. What room? Second floor room 221. Tsunade, let's go. They ran up the staircase and came up to his room. As they looked through the door they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Tree branches and leaves began to elongate and twist all around the room as the teen cried out on his bed in fear. They could see his chakra becoming visible as the tree on his nightstand reacted. This is impossible. I've never seen something like this since Hiruzen couldn't finish his sentence. Grandfather. Tsunade said to herself in shock at the power of wood release she was witnessing. Naruto jumped out of her arms and ran to the teen on the bed. He jumped up next to the boy and threw his arms around him. Brother, stop it. Don't be scared. Please. Both Hiruzen and Tsunade thought at the same time. The teen opened his eyes and looked at Naruto and his chakra stopped flaring. The tree began to slowly shrink away and went back to its normal size. A large gaping hole remained on the side of the hospital wall. Tsunade took a good look at the boy on the bed. He had short spiky brown hair and large eyes. But the thing was that they had a strange green glow to them until the tree went back to normal. Then they were black, as black could be. 583, I did you. Yeah, it's me brother, don't be afraid anymore, I don't like it. I'm sorry little brother. Excuse me Naruto, how's this? I didn't know that you had a brother. Tsunade said to the blonde. This is experiment 575. He looked out for me when Orochimaru had us, but now we are both free. Tsunade approached the boy. Do you know who you are or what has been done to you? I don't remember my real name. It's been so long. But I do know that Lord Orochimaru said he was trying to inject Hashirama Senju's cells into our bodies. Everyone else died though. I'm so glad that 583 here is safe though. My name is Naruto, now brother. Naruto said. Tsunade, this boy's name is Tenso. He went missing when he was 5 years ago. He was a chunin at 7, which is probably why Orochimaru wanted him. Who were his parents? He was an orphan before that. Tsunade walked to the bed. Naruto, still hugging his brother, looked over to her. Can he live with us please? I don't want to lose him again. Of course he can, that is if he wants to. Yes, I don't want to leave my brother alone. Okay then Tenzo, you will live with me, and Naruto. Naruto ran up and hugged Tsunade tight. Thanks mom. Tsunade started to cry as she heard Naruto call her mom. Excuse me, you called me Tenzo. Yes, that was your name before Orochimaru took you. Tsunade explained. And I didn't have a family before that. He asked her. No, I'm afraid not. Then I want to change my name. What would you like to be called? Tsunade asked him. He thought for a few minutes and then looked up to her. Then my name will be Yamato, for that is what I will strive for harmony. Sensei, I would like to adopt both Naruto and Yamato. Hiruzen smiled at his student. So be it Tsunade. Your compound is still available if you would like to move in. Thank you sensei. Come on you two, it's time to be a family. Naruto looked at Tsunade and Yamato and smiled. Family hot, that sounds great. He thought to himself. Congratulations, Naruto. A voice rang inside his head. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.